A exciting project, the Owasco Gateway project. I would like to talk about that's very important to our community. The Gateway project encompasses all of the Gateway project encompasses all of Route 38A along the east side of Owasco Lake. The project I want to talk about tonight is a 250-acre parcel that was purchased by local developers who are here tonight, and I'll learn to do some. This project includes up to 1,000 new housing units that's shovel ready to go. The housing units would include affordable single-family housing, townhouses, and senior housing, all of which is in high demand, not only in Owasco, but also in Cuyahoga County. Back in 2023, Owasco was one the purchase of this property to put in recreational center, walking trails. We had public hearings for that. During that public hearing, we had residents were concerned about a tax base. That property is in Owasco, the highest parcel taxed in Cuyahoga County, in our town. To lose that, people were concerned. People thought there were, even though recreation is an important part of our town, they thought affordable housing and increasing our tax base was more important. And that's why we're here tonight. The conversation at this point led me to contact other developers in the area. Tonight, the Gateway Development Team, which we want to call it, is Joe Bartolotta and William Gilberti over here, and they're going to come up in a few seconds and say a few words over the project. Some of the pictures up here is of Emerson Park, and going toward the east side of the lake is where the parcel is located at the old country. And right now, it's highlighted in the area, and you can see Route 38A running along the east side of the lake. This with our infrastructure improvement, not only will help this development that's ready, shovel ready to go, that could potentially reach 1,000 new units, but also expand down Route 38A. There's plenty of open space, open houses that people have already addressed that they want to expand into that. So 1,000, a few more zeros than 10. So we're looking forward to this project. Right now, the Westlake Art Conservancy purchased the property in 2003. They spent millions of dollars renovating that building, and they're operational at this point right now. So that's a big investment for a state-of-the-art art preservation site. This Gateway project itself aligns directly with the goals outlined in our town's comprehensive plan that we put in place in 2016. This is not a new idea. It's a coordination of a long-term planning, which is very important. We've been working on this for over 12 years right now to expand our capabilities of to grow housing. To support reasonable growth, the town of Owasco has invested approximately $20 million in the last 10 years. Currently, we are working on sewer and water separation, stormwater separation in the on 3 Avenue streets. This $6 million grant was possible because we received a $2.5 million member item grant from John Capital when he was here. We were awarded that grant 4 years ago, and it took them 3 years to even get that money released. So we know how important that when you're promised member item grants, it's not an overnight situation to go through the process. It took many, many years. So we have developers who are ready. Our town has made commitments to this project, and we're looking forward to going forward. The reason for that $6 million project was to correct our combined sewer system with water and storm. By separating those two things out, we are going to save annually over $100,000 a year in infiltration of clean water being sent to the city of Auburn to treat clean water. Some of the additional projects that we had worked on, many of you know that we did water main replacements. It's not a really great fun thing to talk about, but we put water lines on Owasco Road, Oak Ridge Road, Melrose Road. We put a new water tower up on Town Line Road. We put a new sewer main in behind the Owasco River for capacity. We also installed 180 grinder pumps along from Vertus Point to Coning Point to get people off septic and put them into sewer for the quality of life. Many of you know that I serve on many water quality programs. I'm the chair of the Owasco Lake Watershed Management Council. I'm also, work with Carl at the Water and Sewer Authority. So I chair many other, work with many other water quality projects. These improvements were not by accident, they were by design. And we've been working this, again, for over 10 years. The award of the $1 million grant for the town of Owasco would direct those funds to critical infrastructure to improve East Lake Road and Bevier Road. It would also upgrade our sewer and possible water tank enhancement, putting in new infrastructure for that. So the town of Owasco takes housing and sustainability seriously. In 2015, we adopted a climate action plan. We are the only county that is a climate smart community. We also recognized by Tree City USA, and we also just became last fall became a designated pro-housing community. So we are a pro-housing community. We're all ready to apply for more funding for this development. As of this morning, thanks to a phone call from our local paper, we received $250,000 grant from the state of New York for pro-housing community. So we did receive that grant this morning to help us. It's called a TAG grant for technical assistance. So we're going to receive that grant shortly to help us identify any shortfalls that we may have, not only in water, sewer, but electricity and road work. So we have been, again, working at this for many years, and now we have partners, Mr. Billy Gaberti and Joe Bartolotta. If you want to come up and say a few words and talk about our project.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you, Supervisor Wagner, for that introduction. Good evening, Chairman Anna and members of the legislation. Many of you probably already know I'm Joe Bartolotta, homegrown here in Cuba County, born and raised. Now I'm currently raising my family in Auburn, New York, and conduct business in Auburn, New York. So this community means a great deal to me, and I'm really excited here tonight to introduce you and give you a glimpse of the possibilities and potentials of the Gateway project. So the Gateway project location is located on the northeast side of Owasco Lake. It's approximately 250 acres of beautiful mature trees, wetlands, and incredible lake views from some of the high points of the northern section of the property. And it's just the kind of setting for a thoughtful, high quality development like the ones that Mr. Wagner just described. So we put together a team for this development, and the team is made up of three members. Some of you may know my family and I, and some of the projects that we've done here in Cuba County over the course of the last few years. Some some of which, Logan Park Lofts, was a gut rehab of an old piano factory into 36 luxury loft apartments. We've also done entire city square blocks in Auburn, including the State Street block, that's become somewhat of the entertainment center of Auburn, anchored by Prison City Brew Pub on one end and A.T. Wally's on the other. It's been a very successful project and we're proud of it. We've also done blocks of John Street connecting Arterial East and Genesee Street, as well as the entire block of Genesee Street between Seminary and John Street. And so we put approximately a couple of hundred units into service in the last 10 years. Second member of our team is here with me tonight, Bill Gilberti. He is a founder of Gilberti, Stinziano, Heinz and Smith, cornerstone environmental and zoning and land use attorney here in town in Onondaga County. He's a developer of his own right as well, developed many projects in Onondaga County, and also serves a key role in counseling Onondaga County with regard to progress with Micron, and continues to do so moving forward with that project. Herbert Brewer Construction is the third party that is part of this development team. They're a sixth generation developer out of Onondaga County, the largest family-owned construction company in the region, and they've done numerous commercial and residential developments. They own and manage over 700 units and have another several hundred units in the queue as we speak. So very sophisticated group of developers. The vision, see if I can get to the right slide here. So the vision for the property is a true mixed-use neighborhood. It would consist of single-family homes, townhomes, multifamily home residents, and senior housing, all of which are in great demand right now in our county and really throughout New York State. Of course, the level of development that we can bring to fruition there will depend in large part upon the infrastructure that's available to the community. And that's one of the reasons we're here today. But given the sheer size of the property, it could easily accommodate several hundred to over 1,000 units, as Supervisor Wagner said earlier. And that's with preserving green space and natural features of the property, which make it so beautiful. So the development team engaged a premier planning and design firm called Keith Perkins Eastman. They're New York City based, and they do development all over the world. The team has, so that planning and development company has given us 3 conceptual layouts for the property. It's in its infancy stages. In reviewing the 3 options, the development team has honed in on the third of the 3 layouts, which would have single-family homes clustered in the Bevier Road section of the property, southernmost point of the property. Senior living would be up at the northern end of the property, and the topography grows, it inclines as you go north. And so you get some beautiful views of the lake from the northern end of the property. And then townhomes would be dispersed along the eastern edge of the property, overlooking the wetlands. There's approximately 30 to 40 acres of wetlands that have some beautiful vistas. And they would create a natural transition between the senior living and the single family homes. And now what we've got is a few examples of representative types of developments that we are envisioning for the property. As you'll see, the first slide here is single family homes and townhouses. The second slide is multifamily and amenities that would complement those buildings. The third slide is adult senior living communities. And the last slide would be public spaces and neighborhood services that service the neighborhood that would be created. This would ultimately become a neighborhood within a neighborhood. It's that much property. And all of these illustrations are meant to just go to the quality and character of what we have in mind, not the final design plans. So ultimately, this is about realizing the true potential of this property, which is really endless. It would be a well-planned benefit to the community, but it all hinges on infrastructure and the level of development that we're able to bring to fruition there is dependent wholly on the level of services that we can bring to bear on that property. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm going to introduce my partner, Bill Gilberti, to say a couple of words.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. As Joe mentioned, my name is William Gilberti. I am a developer and actually a proud owner of civil development in central New York. By trade for the last 45 years, I've been a development attorney, an environmental attorney, handling development projects all over the state and all over the Northeast. On many occasions, I've had to put myself in the position of where you folks are today, appearing before public municipal bodies, towns and counties, et cetera. And I think what I wanted to make sure that everybody's really focused on is that I don't see ourselves in competition with Senate or Weedsport as I'm here tonight. I know both municipalities. I've lived for the last 40 years with my family in the town of Spafford. We view Auburn as our city, even though we live in town in the westernmost part of Onondaga County. But I know Senate very well. I know Weedsport, certainly we know Owasco very well. I don't see it as competition. They all have merit. They're all great municipalities. But I think what we would ask the county legislature to focus on is the task you're called upon. Where part of my life, as Joe mentioned, and I'm not here speaking on behalf of our county executive on that county, but I happen to be his lead counsel on the Micron project, and my team has been lead for the last number of years. I've been traveling the world with him as we've attracted Micron and now are trying to attract 40 or more supply chain companies. In that work, we've had the Biden administration with us who was responsible for the CHIPS Act that made the Micron project possible and feasible in central New York. And the Trump administration has continued that support. What we've come to realize is that there is going to be, as the White House, the Biden White House Secretary of Commerce who travels with us stated that there's going to be something where it's between 35 to 45,000 direct jobs created by the Micron project and substantially more ancillary jobs. We also have that combining now with the Route 81 project, which is the second largest infrastructure project having in the United States. There is, by anybody's guess, going to be anywhere from 10 to 15,000 construction workers alone living in central New York for the next generation, raising their families here. Just construction workers too, because Micron, many of you may or may not know, is about an 18-year build out before it's finally completed. When Micron is completed, central New York will be the host to about 55% of the world's leading edge chips. So what does this all mean to you? So what's happened is because of this is what's going on, we're living a generational opportunity. At the nice young age of 73 years old, why am I still doing this? Because I have seen for all these years I've lived in central New York, our biggest export has been our children and grandchildren. And it's really upsetting, I'm sure, to all of us. We raise them here in central New York. It's beautiful to raise our family. It's a great place to live, but there's no opportunities once they move off and go to college and get educated. You want them to return home. So we all want them to return home. So now we have this generational opportunity occurring in central New York, not just as I know Chairman Annam met with me and the county executive knows, not just in Onondaga County, but for all of central New York. There will be this wave of opportunity occurring. So the state sees that, the federal government sees it. So these programs are coming down the line. They're coming down the line to create housing. much needed housing. There will be a surge of a need of housing. You've heard about it, and it's there now, it's coming now. That's why these programs are coming online, the $250,000 grant, the $1 million grant program, which is the second time you're looking at it, you folks know yourself. This is the second wave of that, and there will be more others coming down the line as well. So this particular program is geared towards, as your representative who introduced us all tonight mentioned, it's geared directly towards the creation of housing. Is the monies you're about to grant, select as your project, geared directly towards the creation of housing? And that, I think, is the focus that I would ask you to keep in mind tonight. Not the merits of any particular project that's before you, which is better. They're all great. They're all in need. But this particular program for success. So then when you look at that, you begin to look at the slides and the program we put before you. I personally believe that the site that we own is probably one of the most premier sites in the Finger Lake region. And I ask you all to just think about, what site do you know of that sits atop one of the most beautiful Finger Lakes in all of the Finger Lake region, that became available, that was previously a golf course, that has the most mature, beautiful vegetation segregated on it, so it's a golf course, not having to be totally cleared for housing itself, but some recreational housing project that can be built around what is probably millions of dollars of investment in landscaping on this golf course. The supervisor approached us knowing we owned it because they've been working on what they call the Gateway Project. I think we're just kind of conjoining terms here. I think the Gateway Project to the town of Owasco, not speaking for the supervisor, is all of 38A becoming a developed area, taking this surge of economic activity into consideration. And why is that so important to you as the legislature, that the towns around you? Because even tonight's first public hearing is about the economic tensions on government and the costs on government. Well, economic activity will surge with the housing. It will bring people, it will bring culture, it will bring venues. They will spend money. You'll have real estate taxes, you'll have sales taxes. The orders of magnitudes of the studies, when you start counting the number of residents that will come, it is incredible to your revenue that you'll be receiving in your county. So with that in mind, this program is before you. Select a project that will encourage housing in a significant way. That's what. So when the state, I ask you to keep this in mind, when the state reviewers are looking at the applications, what's going to rise in their mind? I will tell you what I know is going to rise in their mind, having worked for 45 years with them around the state and in other states. Is this project got merit? Does the project have merit? Is it going to succeed? And what I don't know how you can look at Owasco Lake, one of the most beautiful bodies of water in the world, a site that sits atop it, that's available for immediate construction. We have retained, as Mr. Bartolota said, probably the premier design firm in the United States or North America, Perkins Eastman. You can look at their resume that does all residential development around the world, and they have designed what could be possible if the infrastructure is available. It could go up anywhere from several hundred to over 1,000 living units on this one site, which this town supervisor and my partner Joe is referring to as the Gateway Project site, because it's the first site that you start out on New York State 38A. I'd ask you all know the area. Close your eyes and think about going from Route 20 at the top of Skinny Atlas down 41 to Homer. You'll go down a route that all on the other side of the lake, it's all developed, it's all residential. That I believe what the supervisor is thinking, that could be the opportunity for his county and his town, and for all the benefit of every town and all the citizens of this county, that kind of development could occur, and this could be the spur of it. So he approached us, asked us what we were going to do. We happened to acquire this site from the West Lake Art Conservation Center. Great organization, if you don't know them, world renowned in art restoration. And I mean world renowned. I always say to people, if the Mona Lisa had an issue, it would go to the West Lake Art Conservation Center. They needed funds to be able to restore and build their new facility. They looked to us. They know we were developers. We bought all the property surrounding them, except for 7 acres and what they have now restored into their facility. The supervisor asked us to think about what we would do with it and expedite that. We've got Perkins Eastman, and before you have plans, several plans that could turn into this. It's the field of dreams. Build it and they will come. If we are able to secure a grant like this, or the town is able to secure through the county's efforts a grant like this, and the infrastructure is put in place, we are ready to go. You know who we are. You can look into our background. You can look at what we've built to date. We've built thousands of units to date. We have the resources, the capacity, the experience, and the capability to do it, and we would be proud to do it here. Thank you very much.
Questions?
I just was, are we talking about Auburn Golf Course?
Yes.
Yes.
That's really the property that you purchased.
Yes.
That was the former Auburn Golf Course.
Yes.
That was, when you purchased it, it was your vision to have that property to develop?
Yes.
I guess my concerns are that, you're talking about 1,000, units, places to live. You're talking about at a minimum of probably 2,000 plus people. My concerns are the impact of that many people to the lake itself, the water, the traffic, the congestion that, 2,000 plus people are going to put in this area. This is a rural community. I feel like, the watershed itself, the wetlands, the farmlands around this area, around that particular golf course or former golf course, would be stressed. And I hope that those issues are definitely on the minds and in the concerns of the residents of this area. Thank you.
Mr. Mulder.
Yeah, like if you don't get this $1 million, how likely are you to complete the project? How much grant funding will you need to complete the project?
Well, the monies are really available to the county and then to the town. We as developers can only build for what resources are available in terms of infrastructure to the site. And right now, there's not a significant amount of infrastructure available to the site. And while we would have resources that certainly extended onto our property or that we own, we certainly can't go out and build the public resources that a municipality has to. So if the infrastructure is not there, then there would not be that much construction that really occur under what kind of infrastructure already exists at this time. So, and we have the same environmental concerns. We are, environmental stewards ourselves, as the one gentleman said at the end of the table. I would bring to mind that Skaneateles has already gone down this road. And I think Cornell ranked Skaneateles the 3rd cleanest body of water in the world about 18 years ago, and it still is. So it has seen substantial construction. If done in the right way, I believe that it will be allow Owasco to be as clean as it is today, or if not cleaner.
Anybody else? I have one more question. The rent that's going to be there, in ownership, you figure that to be mild to high. It's not a bad thing. I'm not thinking it's going to bring us some good income people to this community. So is it?
What demographics you're asking?
Yeah, the
about?
demographic as far as the residents.
Again, depending on the level of infrastructure we have, would depend on what we build. But if you look at Martin Point across the street, if you look at Woodlands across Bevier Road, you'll see the kind of housing that was built there and was marketable. We personally believe that there is a great need for housing for young families. That it's impossible as a young family to move to the Finger Lake region with your children and raise your family. And so we would like to see a good sized significant area be developed and affordable for young families to move in to the town. We also believe there is a significant need for, I don't know if you call it senior housing, we call it 55 and older, we call it the empty nester. It's that kind of nomenclature where people are downsizing, people are looking for smaller units to live in. So we think that's in significant demand as well. The last thing we have on our mind is building anything substantial, the that's not really, if there's any of that, that's not a major piece of what is in our mind currently. Everything changes depending on what happens with the kind of infrastructure you have available, and therefore what it costs you to begin to develop the property. So right now, from our perspective, depending on what the government does and gets infrastructure available down 38A, gives us the opportunity to do what it can. When we say up to 1,000 units, we're saying, what is the potential for this site? It could be several hundred at the end of the day, that's it. Certainly it's a 200-acre site. We're preserving all the wetlands that are on the site. We would never touch the wetlands. The wetlands won't be touched. That's about 50 acres of 40 to 50 acres of the site. We'd be developing about the other 200 acres that is all developable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you described it like a town within a town. There's a lot there. So if you had, what would be the minimal amount that you'd build? So you're talking about like how much infrastructure you have. Would it just be the housing? Would it be the housing in the park? What would be the smallest version, I guess, of the project?
Again, depending on the level of infrastructure, we probably would start out with multifamily for young families and senior living. And then we would go from there. When you see the broader plans, if you look, I can tell you this, that there is interest in Central New York right now from the largest developers in America, the developers that have built out Dallas and San Antonio, and because
They see it.
Central New York, the Finger Lake region, is now probably one of the top 10 hottest real estate markets in the country to do development in. So everybody's looking at what they call lifestyle development. The younger generations want to work, eat, live, and recreate on the same site. So they want to have their condo or apartment. They want to be able to recreate outside. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to have little restaurants or their healthcare facility or their gym and things of that nature. So the bigger plans would be what they call a lot of residential and soft commercial built within it. So it becomes like a community in and of itself.
It's gonna point out one thing too. The reason for the street projects that we've been doing was to build capacity. We run about 30% at full capacity on a normal day. But when it's a wet weather event, that's why we're reducing our infiltrations to allow more capacity. And when we did our sewer interceptor along the Owasco outlet for tens of millions of dollars, we took it into consideration and we upsized that so that we could get capacity down the road for expansion. So again, they're going to build, it's just a matter of how much depends on it. And we've already identified a couple of bottlenecks that if we really have that, we'll be able to increase our capacity and put these in and protect the wetlands. And Owasco has one of the strictest building codes for protection of the Owasco Lake.
Mr. Wagner, while you're there, if I can ask a question. It's my understanding that these funds are going to be used to provide infrastructure leading to the property line or just inside the property line so that the developer may continue to build off of that. Is that correct?
It not only will the woodlands across the street from Beggard, we're at minimum pressure right now for that parcel there. So it would be to loop that down, increase the pressure to the existing residents that would benefit them as well. And that also allow water to run by the Bevier Road project to allow these people to hook up immediately.
My second question to that, my follow-up, and I have another question after that for the developers, but what do you forecast? What's your estimate of cost for that entire infrastructure project? It's probably more than $1 million, correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, we have to have a matching fund. We're going to put $1 million in right away. So in order for us to do it,
but I mean, is that satisfied? Is that going to be for him?
Oh, yeah, I think it would, because we've been working on this already and we've already put in for other grants and we were denied. We had grants, we were denied other processes. The competitiveness for those grants is very, very tough to get those things, even though we were able to secure them before. But I think that we'll be able to secure that funding, increase what we need to do, allow them to have the capacity, at least initially, to get started and to put in a lot of housing.
This is a combination question. I think legislator Sergeant Mulder referred to this earlier, but I'm assuming you're gonna do this in phases. So what would be like the first phase that you're looking to complete?
I think, again, to get the.
Well, if you get this grant.
You get the infrastructure along Bevier Road and along Martin Point, where it shrinks. We'll get that rehabbed right away, and then trying to get more water to that area up there. So it'll help the people who don't have water right now as well. So there's a lot of houses along Bevier Road that don't have water, and it could potentially open up more sites for housing as well. So.
No, I guess I was just to piggyback off what Mark said. You're gonna start, if you get awarded this $1 million of infrastructure, you're gonna put that infrastructure in and build for that capacity.
Correct.
And then in the future, you may expand out to all of these plans, but initially you'll start with what the infrastructure money
That's
can
what the
afford.
grant's used for, is to
Yes.
promote housing.
I'm sitting here thinking, what does $1
Yes.
million of infrastructure get you?
Well, fortunately, we already did $20 million of infrastructure improvements. Now we identified stuff that we didn't get to before. And again, it's going to increase our tax base, it's going to increase the sales tax revenue for Owasco, and it's going to be beneficial for not only the county, but for the Owasco and the whole county. So this is not just a Owasco project, it's a county project. It's going to generate a lot of revenue for everybody.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasant. No, let's go for that.
Way up.
You're way up. I was really counting on your reception here.
Yeah, got it tonight.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Here's Weeds.
Good evening. My name is Chad Platten. I'm the mayor for the village of Weedsport. This is Jackson Lasarto. He is, works with us, Saratoga Associates. I've come to speaking to you all. I'll try to be brief. My day job makes me talk a lot, but as a teacher, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit more responsible than sometimes in school. So